First of all, I'd like to address a couple of remarks that Michael Thompson made and also Gary Vitti made. Michael said there was three things he'd like to see happen to his life, and the third one hasn't happened yet. His son Clay coming here and playing for the Lakers. Well, Michael, if he keeps playing the way he is, he'll be here soon. Okay. And the other thing with Gary said he came here because of Joyce and Jerry. He forgot to tell you there was a microphone involved. So anytime he gets invited to where he can speak, he's going to be up here, okay? So some of the things they've said are certainly not, well, particularly in Gary's case, he'll be up here forever. But first of all, I'm going to talk tonight about some of the things I've learned in my life, lessons I've learned from things I've experienced, and particularly in the world of basketball, which can be very harsh at times. But secondly, I want to talk about my brother who was killed in Korea. I was young, quiet, afraid to go home. Wasn't a very pleasant surrounding. He was my hero at that point in time. I didn't know what a hero was, but when he got killed, it was an incredible transformation in my life to being a very, very aggressive young kid who you probably didn't want to mess with, you probably wanted to steer clear of because of what I saw in my house. And when he died, I'll never forget that day. It was the most horrible day ever. And it was a transformation in my life from being very aggressive to extremely quiet, extremely backward, where you couldn't get me to say a word. I was a loner. To some degree, I'm still a loner. And I think along the way, that made me think of something that I see happening here today. For you, some of you young kids out there, your life is ahead of you. And without opportunities and without skills, you're never going to get there. And I said to myself, when I used to go fishing, I'd go fishing. If it was summer, I'd go at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd come home at 6. Didn't want to come home. It was hunting season. Left early in the morning. Never come home to dark. One day, something really weird happened. And when you're by yourself, that's when you're really doing, I think, your best thinking sometimes. And when I would go out there by myself, I used to say to myself, oh my goodness, I hope I can do something to honor my brother someday. Knowing full well that probably was never going to happen because of circumstances and where I grew up. But one day I picked up a basketball, and that changed the destiny of my life forever. And along the way, all of a sudden, when no one wanted me, when I was little, all of a sudden, everyone wanted me. James, you probably know about that. And I said to myself, this is pretty weird. No one cared to speak to me or involved with me, and all of a sudden, people want to talk to me. People want to offer me things to go to school. And it was so strange to feel like that you're just an object, that someone's willing to pay to go to school. But during that period of time, when I started thinking, I said, oh my gosh, I hope I can do something that will hopefully let my brother, if he's watching, he was a Christian, by the way, very, very deeply religious. And I said, I hope someday that I can do something that will show him how much I cared about him. And all of a sudden, I went through life, and my life pulled me in a lot of different directions, but I lived a life I never dreamed possible. I met people I never dreamed possible. I've been to places in the world I never been possible. When I grew up, we had no car. never went on a family vacation. Pretty humble. And fortunately, because of that basketball, that changed my life. And I'm telling you this because for some of you young kids, and I think they probably left by now, it's probably too early, too late for them to stay up. There's a learning center at West Virginia University that has my brother's name, David West Learning Center. And every time I go up there, I say to myself, oh my God, I wish he could have watched me play. Because at one time I was pretty good. And I think he would have probably been very proud how serious I was about it. Serious to the point of fault, by the way. And also how competitive I was. That probably wouldn't have been possible unless he died. I'm sure I wouldn't be alive today. I'm sure I wouldn't have the life I've seen. And also I wouldn't experience some of the things that most athletes don't want to experience. It's failure. Failure in the sense we weren't able to win championships when that's the only thing that mattered to me. It wasn't anything personal. People always ask me, why did you play? I played for two reasons. Competitive to be, and also I played for the fans. City of Los Angeles. I played for the Lakers. And it was it was really strange when you have that kind of, and I probably wouldn't have felt that way unless I'd grown up the way I grew up, by the way. It was a time when players didn't make very much money, but it also gave me opportunities to do things in my life that I never dreamed I could do. I have a sign that someone gave me, and it's still over 50 years ago. And when I was a little boy, and I'm sure when you were growing up, there's always something you wanted to do with your life, always. Sometimes you'd be embarrassed to tell people about it. But this sign says, it says vision, and it says nothing happens unless first a dream. Carl Sandburg said it. And so when I was a little boy, I was a real dreamer. And when I got to the point where I was a pretty good player, I became a bigger dreamer. Wouldn't tell anyone about it because they would laugh at me. I have neighbors, now we live in this little ratty community. I'll never forget one day I was about 11 years old. And when you're little like that, I was out by myself and I was playing basketball and this lady and her husband were watching me, and when I ran right by them, I heard her say, well, he's never going to amount to anything in his life. And that was so cool to hear that. I wasn't bothering them. I wasn't bothering anyone. But those kind of things that motivated me to do something with my life. So I'm going to tell you, read to you some of the things I've learned in my life, okay, through basketball. And so bear with me. I won't be as good as some of you young kids, okay? After many decades as a basketball executive, and after many decades of errors, missteps, and regrets, I offer a list in no particular order of some of the lessons that life in the world of sports have tried their best to teach me. Number one, life must be fun. Kindness is essential, and you do need to work at both. Number two, smile, laugh, and be pleasant. This may sound naive. It is not. It's profound occupation and a personal advantage. Some of you are not old enough to have seen the movie Harvey. James Stewart was a central character in it. I would suggest that you want to watch a great movie, watch it. It's great. His name in the movie was Elwood P. Dowd. And his mother said to him, Elwood, in this world you must be oh so clever or oh so pleasant. For 40 years I tried clever. I recommend pleasant. Number three, be strong enough to say, I don't know, when you don't know or understand something, and since time may come in your life after you've had a great education, say so. Don't guess. Don't fake it. If you don't have the answer, say so. The following 7 words often work very well. I don't know, but I'll find out. You won't mislead your colleagues, and people will respect your honesty and self-assurance. Number 4, life is too hard to be lived alone. Find time for your family. You only get one. In my case, thank God. I'm sure some of the others out there. A family of your own will change the way you look at life, at your parents and at your grandparents. Oh, now I get it, you'll say. So simply call home, call your parents, but especially call your mother. Remember, texting does not count. And check in with your grandparents, often the most loyal, loving, and supportive people you will have in your life. Work at friendship, develop a talent for friendships. Friends fill your life. They represent perhaps the purest choice you'll make in your life. Number 5, and I hope everyone listens to this. Don't be colorblind. People are different. Your world is indeed a rich, open, diverse, multicolored, multi-ethnic, multi-textured, and multicultural experience. Declaring that all groups are the same is a deception. Believing that some ethnic groups are better than others is a moral disgrace. We aren't all the same. We shouldn't try to be. Opposites attract. They also educate. Number 6, help some people along the way. Find a cause you care about, and that's why you're here tonight. Involve yourself and start early in life. Life is not about warming yourself by the fire. Life is about building the fire, and generosity is a match. You will truly never learn yourself or the strength of your relationship until both have been tested by adversity. You will inevitably make mistakes. You young people, you know who Eleanor Roosevelt is? Okay. They don't teach history anymore, by the way. I'm a vociferous reader, by the way. I read at least 3 books a week. At least 3. And all of them are not for pleasure. When I went to school, I wasted my education. But I've learned more from reading and some really inspirational things from great leaders, like these 2 idiots we have running for president today. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, to learn from the mistakes of others, you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. Doors will slam in your face, but you must pick yourself up, dust yourself off, knock again. It's the only way to achieve your goals in life. And believe me, I'm a goal setter. J.C. Penney, who arguably one time was the most important entrepreneurial man in this country, he said it best, show me a clerk with a goal, and I'll show you a man who will make history. But show me a stock clerk without a goal, and I'll show you a stock clerk. And for each and every one of you out there, I would suggest one thing. If you really believe in goals, write them down. Write them down. It's so easy to put in your own minds to say, well, you know, I'm going to do this. Write them down and tape them to your mirror in the bathroom. Okay? Do that. You're not going to achieve all your goals in life. Today, you have to have flexible goals, the way the world is changing. You have to adjust your goals sometime. And if you don't, you're not doing the right thing. Reach for the star, climb the highest mountain you can, By the way, sometime when you get up to the top of the mountain, the view is not very good, I want you to know. I've been there. Not that you'll necessarily achieve all your goals, but if you're going to fail, fail big. If you don't, you're never going to make a difference. Ask yourself one question. If I didn't have to do it perfectly, why would I try? For many of you, the biggest obstacle is getting there will be the fear that you've carried since your childhood. The fear of humiliation, of embarrassment, of ridicule. The point is to learn what you can and move on. At the end of the day, you would be judged by your gallop, not by your stumble. Life is one long lesson in humility. Just remember, pride makes us artificial, and humility makes us real. I've been very fortunate in my life, and I try to do things where no one knows about. I don't like to be honored. I don't like people to thank me for things I've done. But I'm going to tell you some of the things I've done that have brought me great joy. I have 2 large scholarship funds at West Virginia University also. One of them is for minorities and students in need. And obviously, I have to have something in basketball, which gave me a chance to have an education. And those are very meaningful for me. But I'm going to tell you something I did about 2 weeks ago. I went to a charity in Orange County, very much like this. It's a school for autistic kids there, okay? And I had a little boy there who came out in a wheelchair and had to speak through this little, I don't know how in the heck they do it, it's amazing, but he was smart. And he was a big Laker fan, and for some reason he took an interest in me. And so they asked me to come down there. They wanted me to meet him. They also wanted me to be there to supposedly help attract an audience who were willing to give money. Well, I must tell you, the most money they'd ever raised before was $22,000. They raised over $50,000 the night I was there. And those things make me feel good, and I wouldn't bother to tell you this story, forget the money, except I got a video sent to my house with this little boy in it, okay? Felt pretty special. So I decided that he was such a Jerry West fan, and he also now is a Golden State Warrior fan. By the way, you didn't see our best last night. Pretty embarrassing. We're a lot better than that. But anyway, I decided, because this kid was it was so heartwarming to be around. And he was going crazy when I was there. I mean, really, I asked him if he'd like it. No, he said, no, he's just so excited to see you. And I don't look at myself that way because I'm pretty normal. I like to be normal. And so I sent him a jersey with my name on it. And I said to Zach, keep inspiring all of us. And I signed a jersey. I sent him a Warrior shirt with all the players' name on it. I also sent him a pair of socks that has Jerry West's picture on it. I also sent him another Warrior golf shirt. He's a little kid with Warriors on it. So, sorry to disappoint you, but I'll love the Lakers always, but I hate you when you're playing against you. I hate you. But that was one of the most touching. I wish you could have just seen this, okay? I wish you could have seen this video. And that's why I like to give. You can give your time. If you got resources, you can give your resources. And thank you people who gave tonight. But one of the things I would tell you is that I had a knee injury one time and had to be operated on, and got tons of fan mail. I used to answer every piece of mail I got. I would handwrite them. So I got so many letters from people wishing me well that I had this card printed out, and I said, thank you for thinking about me. I appreciate your good thoughts. And I can't tell you, even to this day, how many young men, not young anymore, have come up to me and showed me that card. And I would say to each and every person in this room, reach out and touch somebody. I see athletes, we got their bodyguards, they need protected. It's ridiculous. By doing that, by doing it, I'm telling you, you're going to attract more attention. And I just think it's amazing to interact with some of these kids who haven't had a chance in life. And watching these young people get up here tonight, unbelievably impressive. So to Sharefest and the people involved, the people who care, I would say to you, please don't stop helping disadvantaged children. Just as some of you are younger and have goals in your life, can you imagine the difference in those kids' lives? I was sitting there talking to James, and the gentleman from, what was his name? Mr. Haynes, is that your name? Okay, that you? I was sitting beside James, and I said, I know what he's going to sound like. I said, pretty cool, pretty cool. Give other kids a chance to help change their lives. And I'm telling you, when you get my age, probably don't have a whole long time here, the rest of my life is going to be about giving. It's not receiving, it's going to be giving. You feel better about giving than anything in the world if you don't want anything in return. So thanks to all the volunteers, the people who are involved in this project. It's amazing to see the difference that you've made in some of these young kids' life. You're going to have another group coming through, and you're going to have another group coming through. And through Bill's and Joyce's involvement, I would hope that this will continue at the level it's continued and grow bigger. There's so many kids out there that desperately need guidance, direction, and a vision, and they're not going to get it in the environment that they live in. Please, all of you, make this a special project for you. Thank you very much.